What do you think the mood is around marketers in terms of what they have to deal with in terms of digital media?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think the mood is one of wariness. And I think rightly so at some level. Probably overblown in some areas, but fair in others, which is to say, Deb Wall yesterday in her presentation pretty much said I'm not going to put more money into digital media until I have better clarity and trust in the supply chain. And I think that's an important nuance point for maybe where we've been over the last couple of months, which is it's been a rebates and kind of margin discussion. Now I think we're actually getting more into the root of the problem, which is there's just too many different partners doing too many overlapping things. And at the end result, the connection between a marketer and the consumer to put that together is actually way harder than it should be. And so I don't think we're as clean as we need to be in the marketing, in the kind of ad tech digital marketing ecosystem. My hope is that this kind of theme that we're hearing from marketers is resonating with the ad tech community, and that there's more momentum from recognizing we've got to start cleaning it up. And I mean, again, cleaning it up from a perspective of let's get more clear on what each of everyone does in the ecosystem. Let's get more clear on who's really needed in a supply chain, what's necessary to succeed. Let's stop with all the hops. Let's stop with all the wasted kind of partnerships. I think we can clean that up, and I think marketers will get a better result. So I don't blame them for having a fear there, and that's what we see in the work we do, which is we're helping a lot of these ad tech companies find that sweet spot, find that home, and when you do, you focus on the end kind of outcome of marketers influencing customers, great things happen. I think too many of the guys in the middle are focused on moving some media billings, and that's not really making the industry any better.
So is it sort of clashing or business models that don't interconnect, or is there actually some bad actors? What's going on?
Yeah, no, it's not bad actors. I mean, sure there are, I'm sure, around that, but that's not my point, nor I think the focus. I think it's not even clashing business models as they are overlapping business models. Listen, we've been in a time, and in many ways still are in a time of rapid evolution, rapid innovation, with an industry that is very much still in many ways in the learning curve stage of what data and technology can do and how it can impact media and marketing. Now, I think the good news is marketers are now past the does it matter. They're into I know it matters. They're into I'm doing stuff with it. And now what happens is we can overcorrect. And I think we're in that process now where marketers, we're at a risk where if we don't get really clear on how this technology works, when it's most applicable, what data is useful, marketers might kind of look and go, well, wait a minute, I've heard all this hype and promise, I'm maybe not getting what I need, and could pull back. And I've seen that in my career where I often call it like a pendulum, right? You see the other side and you want to go all the way to there. And we've rushed to, audiences matter and context doesn't type analogy, which is just wrong. Of course experiences matter, of course context matters. And so I guess what my key message here is, if I were to say what marketers should focus on and what the ad tech ecosystem should focus on is, let's get more clear on the core value proposition you're offering, and let's get rid of some of this duplication. That I think is the core message, and recognize that consolidation is necessary. We need it, it has to happen. Well, what I love about what I'm hearing, and Zandy, as you know, I've spent a lot of time as the quote programmatic guy, and you've also heard me say lots of time, I think that's actually a terrible word. I think it does a disservice to our industry. I think we should focus on the outcomes of the idea of automation, using data to drive insights, and the skills you need to make that possible. But when we use the word programmatic, we spend so much time on the idea that that's about bidding on inventory and real-time decision-making, which is just not the entirety of it. And so the point I make there is that when we have this discussion, we come into the idea of course, understanding audiences at a more granular level is ridiculously important. And if you're a marketer, you want to figure out what do you really know about your customers, and what we call kind of moving along this customer intelligence journey. And that starts with collecting the right data, understanding it, and then ultimately moving to activating it. And we're helping marketers do that all the time. The point is, along that journey, you realize I can influence people in the right way based on what else they're doing, what else is going on in their lives. What shows are they watching at that moment? What information are they picking up? What time of day is it and what are they experiencing? What is the weather? All these different data factors that marketers are figuring out that matter, that is part of the context and the experience of delivering a message. It isn't just me, it's me and what I'm doing right now. And I think over the last couple of years that has been talked about, but I don't think lives. And what I see happening now is marketers recognizing, of course that matters, and the providers in this space, I think, doing a better job to recognize that as well. And so that to me is the balance. Let's continue to have the experiential side of contextually understanding what an individual's doing, but let's understand that individual a lot better when we market to them. It's the yes and. There's no reason this is at odds, and I think too often the marketplace talks about it as if it is.